Can you see the screen?
Yes, miss.
Okay, Jan. I want someone to please tell me something about meiosis. जी बच्चे. Ji, just please tell me something about meiosis. Okay, who wants to answer? Amna Rashid, will you please answer?
Miss, what's your question?
I said, tell me something about meiosis. Yes,
Miss, I
Rehab.
can't hear you properly.
Yes, Rehab, please.
Miss, meiosis is the type of reproduction in which humans use to produce their offspring. It involves two parents, and it involves a fusion of gametes, a fusion of male and female gamete. This type of reproduction has variation in the offspring, and they are not genetically identical.
Okay, so you are basically telling me what sexual reproduction is? Ji Iman. Yes, Iman, tell me. Okay, Urushpa.
Meiosis is a type of cell division in which a haploid cell is formed from two diploid cells, and the haploid cell is called gamete.
Great, great. Okay, basically when we say what is sexual reproduction, then whatever you said, Rehab, is absolutely correct. Okay, but when we say what is meiosis, then we have to say that meiosis is a cell division which is basically responsible for production of haploid gametes. Now these haploid gametes are of course needed for sexual reproduction, and we all know when the two gametes they fuse together, the female and the male gamete, when they fuse together, they form a diploid zygote. So if you only have to talk about meiosis, you have to say that what's the important event in meiosis which bring about dissimilar offspring in sexual reproduction. What is that called? How does meiosis bring about dissimilarity in the offspring? See, we discussed that during meiotic cell division, the homologous chromosome, they come together and they form a pair. What is homologous chromosome? जी बच्चे, what is homologous chromosome? जी साम्या.
Miss, X and Y.
X and Y is basically the last pair of chromosome, that is the sex chromosome. I'm talking about the homologous chromosome formed during meiotic cell division.
That contains the male and the female DNA.
Yes, when we talk about meiotic cell division, that is meiosis taking place in the reproductive organs that we know. Ovaries are making the egg cells and testes are making the sperm cells. We have done that. So when meiotic cell division take place, that diploid cell which is undergoing meiosis having 46 chromosome. Now, bache, out of that 46 chromosome, half of the chromosome 23 are from the mother and half 23 are from the father. So during meiotic cell division, these chromosomes from father and mother, they come together and form a pair. One from father and one from mother, they come together and form homologous pair. 2 and 2 come together and form a homologous pair. Like that, they make 23 homologous pair. Isn't it? And why they make this homologous pair? Because they are same in size and shape, and the same sequence of genes is there on both the chromosome. That is why when they come together, form the homologous pair, they exchange their parts. And then exchanging of that parts is called? Yes, exchanging of parts is called crossing over. Remember? Do you remember that? Samya, do you remember that, bete?
No, miss.
Oh. You girls were not in touch with the books during this break, huh? Okay. We'll do it. See, half of the DNA is coming from one parent and half of the DNA is coming from the other parent. This so we all know. In our body cells, like we have trillions of cells in our body, and each cell of the body having 46 chromosome, 23 you have inherited from father and 23 you have inherited from your mother. This we all know.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. Now when the ovaries, they undergo meiotic cell division to form egg cell. All right. Those 46 chromosome of your body, they become 23 and 23 in meiotic cell division, forming haploid egg cell. Is that clear? Is that clear?
Miss, can you repeat?
Yes, but please be responsive in the class, Jan. So I should know that you understand this thing. I should move further or not. But the cell, when it is undergoing meiotic cell division, meiosis is taking place, which will result in the formation of haploid gametes. This cell, which is undergoing meiotic cell division, having 46 chromosome, the homologous pairs, they come together. Homologous pairs means you have inherited 23 from each parent. So 23 from father and 23 from mother. When they come together, they form pair. That means chromosome number 1 of father and chromosome number 1 of mother, they come together and form a pair. This is called homologous pair. The word homo means same. Why we call them same? Why they are coming together and forming a pair? Because they both chromosome, they have a same sequence of genes over them. For example, chromosome number 1 pay one position, number 1 pay there's a gene for eye color. Position number 2 pay there is a gene for hair color. Position number 3 pay there's gene for some enzyme. So the same sequence will be there on chromosome number of 1 of father also. That is why they come together and form homologous pair. यहाँ तक it is clear? Is it clear till here?
Yes.
Yes, miss.
All right. Can you all see the whiteboard? Can you all see the whiteboard, bete?
Yes, miss.
Okay, done. This is a
Yes,
cell,
miss.
chromosome 23 from each parent, going to form homologous pair. Chromosome number 1 of mother and chromosome number 1 of father. Chromosome 2 of mother and 2 of father. Chromosome number 3 of mother and 3 of father. ठीक है? They come together during meiotic cell division and they form a pair. ठीक है बच्चे? Now why they are able to form pair? Because they are same in size and shape. And the sequence of genes over them, this is same. The genes are attached on the chromosome. Position number 1 gene coding for eye color, 1 chromosome number, position 1 coding for eye color, second gene coding for hair color, second gene coding for hair color, third gene coding for enzyme amylase, third gene coding for enzyme amylase. The sequence of gene is same on both the chromosome. Is this clear till here?
Yes.
The sequence of gene is same on both the chromosome. That is why we call it homologous chromosome. ठीक है बेटे? Now see what happens when they make pair homologous chromosomes. At times they may exchange their parts. Why they can exchange their parts? Because the sequence of genes is same. The eye color of this chromosome has gone to this chromosome and eye color of this has gone to this. That means the chromosome you have inherited, it has got a different combination now. Chromosome of mother was having black eye color. Okay, and chromosome of father was having brown eye color. When they exchange their parts, the mother is now having brown eye color and the father is now having black eye color. Getting it? When they exchange the parts, the genes are exchanged. So when this cell will divide into 2 gametes, 23 here and 23 here, all these 23 will be having a reshuffling of genetic material because all these will have exchange parts. This would have exchange parts, this would have exchange parts with its homologous pair. So all these chromosomes will have a combination of genes. So this phenomena, this we call crossing over. This is called crossing over. And this crossing over basically brings about reshuffling of the genetic material. That is why the same parents having gametes, all the gametes, they are different from each other, dissimilar from each other. So when this gamete, this haploid gamete, n number haploid gamete is going to fuse with another gamete, the offspring which are resulting from sexual reproduction, they are different from their siblings. Although the parents are same, the siblings are different because the gamete, they are different because of this crossing over. This crossing over is the base, is the foundation of bringing about variation, which is a very, very important phenomena in the sexual reproduction. It brings about variation. The genetic variation is done because of this crossing over, because of this reshuffling of the genetic material. Is it clear now? Is it clear now? Okay, John, do say. Okay. Coming back. Okay. Then we said what is a gamete? Gamete we all know is a sex cell with haploid number of chromosomes. ठीक है बेटे? Then we were talking about the difference in the gametes. The difference in gametes. Tell me some differences between the egg cell and the sperm cell. जी बेटा. Who is going to
There are millions of sperm cells, but there's only one egg cell.
Okay, okay. And
Sperm cell is smaller in size.
okay. When you said that sperm male gametes, they are larger in number, then you say male gametes are smaller in size, and third one, the male gametes are motile, great, and the female is non-motile. Okay. If I ask the structural differences, then what are the structural differences?
Tail.
Starting with the head. Any special structure in the head?
Acrosome.
Acrosome. Was the function?
These enzymes to break down the egg membrane.
So what does it have? It has enzyme to break the egg membranes. Good. Then the second part is the middle piece, having many
Mitochondria.
mitochondria. What does they do?
Provide energy for the activity.
It provides energy. Okay. And what about the tail?
It enables the sperm to swim towards the egg.
Yes, it enables it to swim towards the egg. Good. What about the egg cell? Having large amount of cytoplasm. It's a larger cell. Cytoplasm is there, surrounded by a layer of follicular cells, and the nucleus having haploid number of chromosomes. So examiner may ask you for 2 marks the differences where you write male gamete being more in number, smaller in size and motile, and female gamete less in number, larger in size and non-motile. But they ask you to write the structural differences, then you have to mention each part of the sperm and talk about the large cytoplasm in the egg cell and the layer of follicular cells around it. Is it clear?
Yes, miss.
Okay, great. So we have learned that the sperm, they are around, some book says 1 million per ejaculation, some book says 5 million per ejaculation. So the number is enormous of the sperms. And there is one egg cell every month released by the ovary. And the ovaries, we all know that they take alternative turns. So one ovary is releasing one egg and the next ovary will be releasing an egg next month. So they take alternative turns. All right. So the examiner may give you a question that what happens at the moment of fertilization. So what will you write? We know that the egg is covered by a layer of follicular cells called corona radiata and a fluid sort of around it that's called zona pellucida. These both things have to be passed or pierced by the sperm, and that will be able to fuse with the nucleus of the egg cell to form a diploid zygote. The examiner have 2 questions in CAI. Either they ask what happens at the moment of fertilization, or they may ask from fertilization till implantation. All right. So if they ask what happens at the moment of fertilization, you have to talk about the structure the sperm is passing from the moment it is deposited in the vagina till it reaches the egg cell. That means it is traveling vagina, cervix, uterus and reaching
Oviduct.
oviduct. Great. Where the egg is there covered by these 2 layers. One is the follicular layer of cells called corona radiata and a fluid-like layer that is called zona pellucida. Many of the sperm, they are wasted on the way. Many are killed by the acidity in the vagina. Some may go to the other oviduct where the egg is not present, and some will reach that oviduct where the egg is present. So one of the sperm out of many is able to break down the layer of zona pellucida and corona radiata, or you can simply like the layer of follicular cells. Don't go in the terminology. And that will be able to break down that layer with the help of acrosome present in the head, releasing enzyme to digest the substance of the layer, and the mitochondria providing energy. So one of it will be able to move inside, fuse with the nucleus of the egg cell, and the layer of follicle cell will be made again so that no more sperm may enter. Why is that important? Why is that important that the layer is made again after one sperm enter inside? Why no more sperm must enter? Come on, girls. Ji Rehab.
Needs to ensure the diploid set of chromosomes.
Yes, to ensure that the diploid zygote is made and to maintain that specific number of chromosome meant for a human race. That is 46. All right. Okay. Okay. So this is basically fertilization, the formation of a diploid zygote. All right. Yes, Reha, will you discuss the male reproductive system? Who is going to discuss the male reproductive system? Javeria, will you? Javeria, are you there with me? Javeria, are you there? Urushpa,
Yes, miss.
will you please explain the male reproductive system? The
Okay.
diagram is there. Ji bete. Starting with a pair of ovary testes.
The testes are testicles are present in the scrotum, which is outside the skin, which produces sperm and the seminal fluid. The
Seminal fluid by the seminal vesicles and prostate gland bete.
seminal fluid by the seminal vesicles and the prostate gland. The seminal fluid flows from the tube and behind the urethra,
You
behind the
go
wall
one
of
by
the
one.
urethra.
Go with each organ and tell me the function. Tell me the function of testes only.
They produce sperms and seminal fluid.
They are not seminal fluid. They do produce sperms and they produce a male sex hormone called
Testosterone.
testosterone. Yes. The function of testosterone is to bring about the secondary sexual characteristics and the male sexual desire in man. Okay, then what about scrotum?
Scrotum is a bag-like structure that is outside the body that helps to maintain the temperature for producing sperm.
It maintains the temperature slightly lower than the body temperature because the production of sperms, they need a temperature lower than body temperature. That is why they are situated outside or located outside the main body cavity. Okay. Then what about the epididymis?
Epididymis is a coil structure.
And what's the function?
Miss, I have no idea.
No problem. The function of epididymis is to store the sperms temporarily for some time before they travel in the sperm duct. Okay. Then what is sperm duct or vas deferens or sperm duct?
The sperm duct is a long, narrow tube that carries the sperm, and the vas deferens is also sperm duct.
Another name for sperm duct, bete.
Name of the sperm duct, and the sperm duct goes behind the two sperm ducts, and those goes behind the urethra
Good, good.
below the bladder, and then it reaches the seminal vesicle, where it collects the seminal fluid that is produced by the prostate glands and the seminal vesicle,
Good, good,
and then it opens into the bladder,
good.
and then there is a single tube from the bladder which takes the seminal fluid and the sperms, and it also takes urine,
Good.
and this tube is
Um,
known as urethra.
Yes. So the combination of seminal fluid and sperms is called semen. All right. So this sperm duct, it moves up inside the abdomen. See, it has from here, it has entered the abdomen. Okay. And loops or arches over that side of the ureter. Then passes through these glands, the seminal vesicle and the prostate gland. From here, it collects a fluid, seminal fluid. The mixture of seminal fluid and the sperm is called semen. And this duct open here at the in the urethra, which is there at the base of the bladder. So at the base of the bladder, there is a sphincter muscle that allows only one function to be done at a time. This urethra of the male is a long urethra that runs the length of the penis, and it has dual function. One is urination and one is ejaculation, that is passing of the semen exterior. These two glands, seminal vesicle and prostate gland, they secrete a fluid secretion called seminal fluid, which is basically meant to provide nourishment to the sperm, and they decrease or neutralize the acidity of the female vagina. Is that clear to all? Is that clear to all, bete?
Yes, miss.
Okay, great. Who is going to discuss the female reproductive system? Safa, will you? Safa, are you there with me? Safa, bache, are you there with me? See, the girls who don't reply me in the class, I'm not going to put their attendance. We are doing attendance digitally, and we are going to mark your attendance every day. If you girls are not responsive, that means you're not present in my class. Yes, Samya?
Yes, miss.
Jan, please discuss the female reproductive organs. Ji bache, go on. Samya?
मिस मुझे नहीं पता.
Reha, will you please discuss?
Yes, miss.
Ji bete.
The female reproductive system consists of two ovaries, in which the eggs or the ova develop. There are about 70,000 potential cells of the eggs at present at birth, but only 500 mature during your lifetime. One egg is released every month, and the ovaries take turns to release the eggs.
Okay, great.
And the ovary releases the eggs into the oviduct. There are two oviducts coming from each ovary. They are also called fallopian tubes, and they lead the ovary. They lead the ovary to the uterus. Uh, the uterus. The uterus is the name for the womb. It is where the baby or the fetus develops during the pregnancy. It is pear-shaped and 7.5 centimeter long. Um, its inner lining is called the endometrium, which sheds every month during menstruation. At the end of the uterus, there is a ring of muscle which is known as the cervix, and the cervix leads to the outside, which is called vagina. The opening of the vagina is called the vulva, where the semen is deposited during intercourse.
Semen is deposited in vagina, bete.
Okay.
Okay, all right. We start with the ovaries, a pair of ovoid organs situated dorsal towards the dorsal body wall. Okay, and you said that 500 eggs may mature or may be released during the fertile phase or the fertile age of the female, starting from the onset of menstruation till menopause. That is the fertile age of the woman. Okay. Then the other function of ovaries to release female sex hormones. So those are,
Progesterone and estrogen.
yes, good, estrogen and progesterone, and they are meant for the secondary sexual characteristic as well as for maintaining the menstrual cycle. All right, the ovary is going to release an egg on the 14th day, that is the mid cycle, and that egg will be taken by this finger-like projections called oviduct funnel. They will take the egg, and that the egg may travel in the oviduct with the help of two things in the oviduct, because egg we all know cannot move. This is immotile female gamete, so it will be propelled further with the help of bete, with the help of,
Miss, can you repeat?
beta, the egg has to move in the oviduct. All right, an egg cannot move because the male gamete can move and the female gamete cannot move. So how will it travel in the oviduct?
Miss, peristalsis.
By the peristaltic movement, the compression of the muscles of the oviduct and the presence of cilia inside the oviduct, which help the egg to propel further. All right. Then we have, and what's the importance of this oviduct? What happens here?
Fertilization.
Yes, the fertilization will take place in the oviduct. Having thick muscular wall, this pinkish color is the uterus wall, which is thick muscular organ, pear shaped, and the cavity of uterus is around 7 centimeters. This dark reddish sort of lining is the uterine lining, which is maintained, which is made more thickened, vascularized, cushion-like, spongy every month under the influence of a hormone, and then which is shed every month, sloughed off during menstrual cycle. So this uterus is meant for the menstrual cycle, and basically this is the place where the baby grows. It is meant for the protection and nourishment,
Miss?
growth and development of the fetus. Yes, beta.
Miss, are you not sharing your screen right now?
I am, beta.
I am unable to see it right now.
Okay, I'll do it again, bache. No problem. Can you see it now, bache?
Yes, miss. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. All right. So ovaries, oviduct funnel, oviduct, site for fertilization, the egg moving or traveling through the oviduct and then reaching to uterus. Uterus is a thick muscular organ. This thing is the muscle of the uterus, which has a special ability to distend to accommodate the growing fetus. All right, so it distends, opens up, and the fetus may grow inside, it develops, grows, it is being protected and nourished. The lower end of the uterus is called cervix. It's a ring-like muscles which is kept closed and it only dilates at the time of delivery. This cervix leads to birth canal or vagina where the semen is deposited, and the exterior of vagina is called vulva. ठीक है, is that clear to all? Is that clear to all, bete?
Yes, miss.
Yes, miss.
Okay. Okay, who is going to talk about the menstrual cycle? I want someone to tell me about the menstrual cycle. जी बच्चे. जी बच्चे, go on. Who's going to talk about the menstrual cycle? Come on, girls. Vito is going to tell me menstrual cycle. Can you all see the screen?
Yes, miss. Yes.
All right. Reha, will you please read the learning outcomes?
Learning outcomes describe the menstrual cycle with reference to the alternation of menstruation and ovulation, the natural variation in its length, and the fertile and infertile phases of the cycle. Explain the role of hormones in controlling the menstrual cycle, including FSH, LH, progesterone, and estrogen.
Okay, done. So when they give you a question, they both are the learning outcomes, and you have to do them as homework. When you do this one, beta, I want you to write like in bullet points whatever they have asked in the learning outcome. They have asked you to write about the alternation of menstruation and ovulation. So you have to talk about the mood swings, the diet, stress, anxiety, everything. Natural variation in its length. What is the ideal cycle, like 28 days, and how it can be, was a range. Then the fertile phase, talking about the sperm there being viable for 2 to 3 days, and the egg cell. So the fertile phase is starting from 11 till 17th. Then the infertile phase, when the egg is no more there. So from starting from day 18 till 28. So you have to mention everything which is being asked in the learning outcome. Okay. Second verse says, explain the role of hormones in controlling the menstrual cycle, and all the four. They are given in the book in sequence, and their functions are given in bullet points. I want you to write all those. Is that clear?
Yes, miss.
We do know the learning outcomes, bete, and we do know the assessment objectives. How the examiner is going to assess us on these LOs. The examiner may give you a direct question talking about the hormonal control. That is easier to write. But the examiner can ask you anything in any unfamiliar situation, and you have to apply your knowledge there. Is it clear? All right, Betty. Coming to the ovary, which we have already discussed now, that the ovary in a newborn baby has 70,000 potential egg cells. And as the girl reaches the age of puberty, the menstrual cycle has to start. So one of the primary follicle will start growing under the effect of which hormone? Which hormone will be secreted which will stimulate the growth of the follicles, primary follicles?
FSH,
FSH, great. FSH stands for?
follicle stimulating hormone.
Yes, great. Follicle stimulating hormone released by? Released by?
Pituitary gland.
Pituitary gland. Great. Okay. Now see, the primary follicle start growing. Follicular cells. Follicular fluid is there. See, when they grow and become mature, they become Graafian follicle. The Graafian follicle has an egg, and by the mid-cycle is which day? Which day is the mid-cycle? 14th, because the ideal cycle is for
28.
28 days exactly. So on 14th day, the Graafian follicle is going to release an egg, and this event is called
Ovulation.
ovulation. Yes, ovulation. Jan, देखो, this is revision, bete. We have done it. I want the responses. All right, that is called ovulation. And which hormone is released for ovulation? To induce the ovulation? जी बच्चे. जी Rehab, which hormone is released to induce ovulation? Do we know the name of luteinizing hormone?
So estrogen.
Then on 14th day, luteinizing hormone is released from the pituitary gland, which induces ovulation and helps in the formation of
Corpus luteum.
corpus luteum. Great, great. ठीक है? All right. See, the menstrual cycle is taking place. Message is taking place. See, this is the egg. Egg is traveling here. They are showing you the endometrium here. Here the endometrium is thickest and is started sloughing out. All right, so when the endometrium is sloughed out, after that which hormones play its role and start repairing the wall of the uterus? The uterine wall is repaired by which hormone? The wall is repaired after menstruation. From day 1 to 5 is the bleeding time. From day after onwards, from day 6 to onwards, which hormone is going to repair the uterine gland? Estrogen. Great. Great. What other function of estrogen is there? What else does it do?
It stimulates the pituitary gland to secrete the LH.
Great. And inhibits what?
FSH production.
FSH. Great. Good. Good. Okay, Jan. See, again they're showing you the egg maturation and release. This is the ovary. Releases an egg which is taken up by the oviduct funnel. These finger-like projections are basically the oviduct funnel which will take the egg which is being released by the ovary. Alright, so this one of the primary follicle is being matured. It is growing, becoming a Graafian follicle. The Graafian follicle is releasing an egg on 14th day. This is ovulation taking place. The remaining follicle converting into corpus luteum, the yellow body. This corpus luteum is responsible for
Secreting progesterone.
Secreting progesterone. And what does that progesterone do?
It keeps the endometrium well supplied with blood.
It keeps the endometrium well supplied with blood. It makes the endometrium more thickened, vascular, spongy-like, cushion-like. And why?
For the implantation.
For the embryo to come and implant itself. Okay, good. Or for example, the embryo has come, it has implanted itself. Now what will happen? Corpus luteum has to break down on day 28 so that a new cycle may start. Isn't it? So if the fertilization has taken place, if the embryo is formed and it has implanted itself in the uterine lining, what will happen to the corpus luteum now?
Yes, it will break down into a white scar in the ovary.
It will break down and will leave a white scar in the ovary. As soon as it breaks down, the level of progesterone will drop in the blood. There's no more secretion of progesterone, isn't it?
Yes, miss.
So when the level of progesterone drops in the blood, what happens next? That is the onset of a new cycle. The endometrium starts sloughing down, starts breaking down, and a new cycle starts. Is it like that?
Yes, miss.
Okay,
बस implantation हो गई है फिर क्यों cycle continue होगा?
That's what I'm asking. That was my question. कि अगर implantation हो गई है, तो what will happen to corpus luteum now?
Miss, the corpus luteum will continue to secrete progesterone and estrogen until the placenta is formed.
Yes. A little amount of estrogen and more of progesterone to maintain this wall. देखो if that moment when the implantation has taken place, or abhi if the corpus luteum breaks down, that it will bring about sloughing of the endometrium. So that very small, tiny, fragile organ, the embryo, it will be dislodged from the endometrium. It will go wasted. It will go down, come out. Not noticed even because it will be very, very small, tiny thing. Isn't it? That's an abortion. So how will this corpus luteum persist, keep on secreting progesterone? That's the embryo which is going to secrete a hormone and is going to tell the corpus luteum, please do not break down. Keep on secreting progesterone until the embryo develops its placenta. When the embryo develops a placenta is the structure, that's the connection between mother and the fetus. Partly made from the embryonic tissue and partly made from the maternal tissue. That placenta is going to secrete then progesterone till the end of gestation period, that is 38 weeks. Getting it? So this progesterone has to be there throughout the gestation period to maintain this thick, spongy, vascularized lining. Is that clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, John. Day 5 means the first day 1 to 5 is the period when the sloughing is taking place. The menstrual blood is coming out through vagina. After that, day 5, follicle stimulating hormone that starts to be released by the pituitary gland in the brain. The hormones travels in the blood to the ovaries and the egg begins to develop. But we all know that the hormones, they travel in blood. Sometimes they give you a question in the CI paper talking about what is a hormone or describe a hormone, and the marking scheme has 3-4 words there. What are those 3-4 words of marking scheme? When you are writing about what is a hormone, what are the keywords? जी बच्चे, पुरुषपा, what are the keywords बेटे?
Endocrine and exocrine glands.
Okay. And what else? Give me at least 4 words.
Growth and development.
Growth and development, nahi bache, they're just asking about the hormone. All the words related to the word hormone only. What it is basically? It is a chemical substance.
Biochemical.
ठीक है, it's a biochemical substance. ठीक है, it's a chemical substance. And where it is released?
Into the blood.
Gland.
Blood, good. In the blood, good, great. And where does it go? Where it reaches?
Organs.
What we call that organ? Do we call it a target organ?
Yes.
So, and when the job is done, where it is destroyed?
Liver.
In the liver. So, these 4 points are the marking scheme points, bete. They want you to write the chemical substance released directly into the blood, reaches the target organ, and when the work is done, it is destroyed in the liver. So, if we are talking about FSH, released by pituitary gland, traveling in the blood, target organ is the ovary, working on the ovary. What does it do? It is stimulating the follicles in the ovary to grow and mature, plus it is stimulating the follicle to release
Estrogen.
estrogen. Great. Okay. Day 7, now the egg signals to the ovaries as it develops. The ovaries start to produce the hormone estrogen, we know that. Now this estrogen is basically repairing the uterine lining. Repairing of the uterine lining, making it thicken, that is the job of estrogen. Making it more thicker, vascularized, spongy-like, and maintaining it, that's the job of progesterone. And who is secreting it? The follicle. Now see, day 14, now we know that day 14 is the mid-cycle. That's the ovulation day. Now when the ovaries are secreting so much estrogen, that will be detected by the brain. So the brain is going to stop producing FSH. What we have learned that the estrogen is going to inhibit FSH and producing another hormone that is called LH. So estrogen is going to inhibit FSH and stimulate pituitary gland to release LH. What does the LH do? It triggers ovulation, release of the egg. Clear till here?
Yes, miss.
Okay, Jan. Day 28, if the egg is not fertilized, the lining of the uterus is shed. That means day 28 tak corpus luteum is going to persist. Keep on secreting progesterone. Then by day 28, it is going to disintegrate, it's going to break down. That will lead to menstrual bleeding. The period which is lasting for few days. The book says for 5 days in an ideal cycle. And the cycle starts again. Now here tell me, if when you have implanted the embryo in the uterine lining, what about the cycle then? Here they say the cycle starts again. Ji bete. Yes, Samya? What will happen to the cycle then?
This cycle will stop.
Cycle will stop, exactly. So stopping of the cycle, or the girl after marriage, when she misses her period, that is the first sign of pregnancy. The menses will not come. This is first sign of pregnancy. We call it amenorrhea. No periods. So that's the first sign. And the periods will not take place till the end of the gestation period till 38 weeks, till the progesterone is maintaining that lining and the embryo developing into fetus, and then fetus growing and developing, and then after 38 weeks, after delivery it comes out, only then the periods will start again. Okay, now this is a typical cycle or the menstrual cycle which is given in the book also. From day 1 to 5 days, it is the same. Endometrial shedding time. Then day 6 to day 11th or 12th. This is the repair time, repair of the uterine wall under the effect of estrogen. All right. So by here the estrogen is increased in level. It is going to inhibit FSH and it is going to stimulate pituitary gland to release
LH.
LH. So on the 14th day, LH is going to induce ovulation and is going to help making
Corpus luteum.
corpus luteum. Great. The corpus luteum mate is going to secrete another hormone called progesterone, and for this whole time, the progesterone is secreted by the corpus luteum to make the lining vascularized, thickened, and spongy. Here it will break down and a new cycle will start. Now your first LO says talk about the variation in the cycle, where you're going to discuss all those mood swings and diet and exercise and everything. Okay. Then they want you to talk about the fertile phase and the infertile phase. Now looking at this diagram, please explain what is fertile phase.
Miss 13th to 15th is fertile.
Achha, you have your book with you, bache? Do you have
Yes,
your book?
miss.
Okay, John. Open your book and open the same diagram and look at the fertile phase given there. And tell me, please.
11 to 17.
11 to 17. Now, please explain 11 to 17.
Miss, during that time, the estrogen is produced, which stimulates the pituitary gland to secrete LH, which causes ovulation. The estrogen also inhibits FSH production, which means the follicles won't develop.
Acha. What do you understand by this word fertile phase?
Fertilization can occur.
Exactly. So, Jan, you said that ovulation is taking place on 14th day. So, how come fertilization will occur on day 11th? And how come on day 17th?
Miss, not every cycle is the same. They range.
Jan, they are talking about an ideal cycle. And the cycle they have given in the book, that's an ideal cycle for 28 days. ठीक है ना मेरा बच्चा? तो fertile phase when we calculate ना, so we give a probable time that this time fertilization can take place. So we advise the couples this time if they want to conceive. Why we consider these days from 11 to 17? The book says that the sperm which is introduced in the vagina maybe on day 11th can survive in the female genital tract for 3 days. ठीक है बेटे? तो when you count 3 days introduced on day 11th, आप इसके आगे count करो 3 days, is 12th, 13th and 14th. 14th day पे egg will be released, so the sperm is viable till then it is going to fertilize the egg. ठीक है? Then this is the egg released can again survive for 3 days. 14 से आगे you count 3 days, 15, 16 and 17. So if the sperm is introduced on day 17, again the egg is still viable. It can
Fertilize.
fertilize the egg cell. So this whole time fertilization can take place day 1 to day 17. ठीक है? After day 17, the egg will not survive. It will die. So from day 18th till 28th, if the sperm is introduced, or if the sperm is there in the female genital tract from day 18th till 28th, fertilization will not take place because egg is not there. So that period is called infertile phase, where fertilization cannot take place. ठीक है, clear है?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, Jan. Okay. The examiner may give you diagrams, the graphs like this. This diagram is there in your book under that menstrual cycle circle. ठीक है? These graphs can be given. So what is the identification? The identification of LH is that it only makes a peak at the mid-cycle. See the graph? Straight है. It's only making peak on day 14 because this is only meant for ovulation. Shortest time के लिए which hormone is released? That is LH. ठीक है? FSH is being released from the start of the cycle, or the book says from day 5, stimulating the follicles to grow and mature and stimulating the follicles to release estrogen. The estrogen, when comes in concentration, it is going to inhibit FSH. FSH को inhibit करेगा. ठीक है? See the other one showing all 4
Miss?
hormones. जी बेटे.
Miss, 14th day पे why is the FSH at peak? Like पूरे graph में FSH 14 day पे क्यों सबसे high पे?
Peak नहीं है बेटा. See the fluctuation. Peak नहीं है. This is FSH. Going down 14 day पे it is going to inhibit. The graph is going down. Estrogen is going to inhibit FSH and is going to stimulate pituitary gland to release LH. LH का graph जो that is only peak on day 14th. FSH goes down after 14th. It will start again in the second cycle then. Estrogen start with is less and then making a peak because it is repairing the wall and the concentration is increased. Then goes down because here now what is increasing? Progesterone. Here corpus luteum is formed. Corpus luteum is going to secrete progesterone and less amount of estrogen. Corpus luteum is the same follicle beta which was secreting estrogen. So this is the follicular phase. Because when the estrogen levels are low, anterior pituitary is going to secrete FSH and LH, stimulation of follicle to develop, cells enlarge, uterine lining to thicken. Ovulation, luteal phase. Luteal phase is when egg is being released and the empty Graafian follicle changes into corpus luteum. Continues to secrete estrogen. It will not stop secreting estrogen and brings to release progesterone. This progesterone is going to further develop uterine lining. Further develop why? Because already estrogen has repaired the wall. But it is going to make it more thickened, more vascularized, more spongy, cushion-like. So if the embryo is coming, that can be implanted. It should have a cushion-like sort of thing. And then embryo is going to release hormone to preserve corpus luteum. At this moment, corpus luteum have to persist. If breaks down, then the embryo will be dislodged. It will go wasted. So this embryo is going to tell the corpus luteum to please persist. Till the placenta is made. All right. Okay. Yes, Samya. Read the question and answer.
Which part of the body produces FSH?
G.
Pituitary gland.
Pituitary gland. Good. Ji bache. Question 2.
What does FSH stand for? Follicular stimulating hormone.
Follicular stimulating hormone. Good.
What does FSH do? It stimulates follicular cells to grow and mature.
ठीक है, and stimulates the follicle to release. And stimulate the follicle to release.
Estrogen.
Estrogen. Good.
What produces estrogen? Miss follicular cells.
Yes. Yes.
Estrogen stops being produced around day 15. Why?
It either stops or is as being secreted in a small quantity. Because the follicle has released an egg, it has converted into corpus luteum now, and the corpus luteum has to secrete which hormone?
Progesterone.
Progesterone, yes. It will keep on secreting estrogen, but for less quantity, and more progesterone will be secreted.
Which hormone is produced for the shortest amount of time?
Estrogen.
Estrogen is being secreted more in quantity in the first half of the cycle and less in quantity in the second half of the cycle. Like it is being secreted. LH. LH is for the shortest amount of time because it is only meant for ovulation and helping in the formation of corpus luteum. All right.
The relationship between FSH and estrogen is called negative feedback. Why do you think this is?
जी बच्चों.
Miss, I don't know the answer.
Problem. FSH and estrogen, they are secreted in a way when the FSH is secreted, it is stimulating the follicles to secrete estrogen. But when estrogen increases in concentration, it is going to inhibit FSH. Isn't it? A new cycle starts again with the release of FSH and then stimulating again release of estrogen from the other ovary with the formation of Graafian follicle in the other ovary. All right. Okay, bache. Tomorrow we'll be doing. Is it clear till here? We can move further now.
Yes, Miss.
So tomorrow we'll be doing the fertilization, the early development, implantation, amniotic cavity. So I would really appreciate if you girls please give it a reading what we have revised till now and that topic for tomorrow. Okay. So before we start talking about the new topic, I really want you to discuss your queries. If you have any difficulty till menstrual cycle, please do discuss. Is that clear?
Yes, Miss. Yes.
Okay, and I'll be posting your homework, these two LOs of menstrual cycle today on your WhatsApp group. And I want you to draw that menstrual cycle circle diagram in the journal. All right? Okay, Jan. Let's talk about the EOTT of reproduction in plants. When you want to take it? Or you need some time to revise, or you want a class to be taken on reinforcement of the whole topic? How you want to take it?
Miss, you can take one class of reinforcement.
Okay, ठीक है. We plan a class. And any dates, any suggested dates for the EOTT of reproduction in plants?
Miss, अपनी मर्जी से रखें.
मर्जी से रखूं. अच्छा देखो, by 10th August I think इंशाल्लाह ताला Muharram will start. ठीक है. And if it starts from 10th August, तो Muharram Ashura will be there on day 18th and 19th August. ठीक है. Let's keep on 17th August. ठीक है. अच्छा 17th अगस्त जो है बेटा दैट इज ट्यूसडे, ठीक है, 17th अगस्त इज ट्यूसडे. ट्यूसडे वी हैव क्लब पीरियड. On Tuesday club period we are going to have a
This
reinforcement.
Tuesday we don't have a class.
Tuesday we don't have a class.
This yesterday class था.
अच्छा वेडनेसडे तो फिर हो जाएगी 18th. Let's
This
keep on
Monday
Monday
will
then. जी बेटे.
This Monday.
Let's keep on Monday, no problem जान. Let's keep on Monday. Monday को जो हमारी scheduled class है, we are going to have a reinforcement of this chapter in the scheduled club period, and your test will be from 3 to 4 because I'll be uploading your EOTT on Teams for you and for 11C also.
Miss ऐसे नहीं कर रहे हैं.
Then what you want to take?
Miss, because we take classes for so long, उसके बाद we are tired, so.
What do you want? Tell me.
And Miss, even our net is tired.
मिस
At that time, net doesn't work properly.
मिस आप फ्राइडे को reinforcement करा लें और मंडे को टेस्ट ले लें.
फ्राइडे को reinforcement करा लें और मंडे को टेस्ट ले लें. Let me check. Yes, I can do that. But a test so you have to take other than your classes, na? Reinforcement on Friday is absolutely okay with me, as you say. What about the test? Time of the UTT.
मिस शाम में ले लें फिर मंडे. आप मंडे को reinforcement करा दें और शाम में टेस्ट.
Beta, I don't mind. You just give me the time. You want from 5 to 6?
Yes, miss.
4 to 5, okay?
Miss 7.
Acha, think over it. We can discuss this tomorrow also. Okay, your test day will be Monday. Okay, na? And Monday is 16th August. Okay, let's keep on 16th August. Done?
Then
Okay, Miss.
Okay. So still two minutes are left. Who is saying Allah Hafiz? Acha, you all the journals are checked, bete? And you all have done your work? Well, we are really keeping our fingers crossed. The school opens on site. So you have to bring your complete journal with beautiful diagrams. Okay? You have your books with you? But you have your books
Yes,
with you?
Miss.
Just open the book and quickly flip through the pages and tell me that you have done everything. Nothing is missing till menstrual cycle. Take 2 minutes and tell me.
Yes, miss.
So everything is understood, everything is clear.
yes.
Yes.
Javeria, Mariam Bache, Safa, Vishpa.
Yes, miss.
Okay, Jan, Iman, everything is clear, bete? Okay, beta. Okay, I'll be posting your homework now. Do your homework. We'll meet again tomorrow, inshallah. Have a very good day.